Welcome back to Innovation Nation, everyone. Thank you for joining and watching the episodes of our video cast. Today at Innovation Nation, we're going to be talking about innovation in commitment. How do you combine different things to up your game in terms of making a commitment to your clients? A commitment to outcomes, a commitment to standing for what you believe in. My friend Patrick Jan Tempo wrote a book called Your Stand is Your Brand. And innovation and commitment is that's our stand, our brand. For you, if you're in a different business, then what's your innovation to commitment to your customers? What is the promise that you make? What is the way that you are reducing their risk? What is the way that you are reversing their risk and making it easier for them to do business with you? Well, that's what innovation and commitment is all about. It's about making it easier for your customers to work with you. It's about making it easier for our customers to work with us by reducing the risk, by ensuring that they understand what is fully involved when they are making a decision. So one of the things that we believe culturally in our company is that the most valued people here are the people who keep their commitments. If we're going to do that culturally, then we've got to do it for our customers. And so it's really important that if you say what you're going to do what you say, prove it. Simple, basic, handshake business. Say what you're going to do what you say, stand by it. That's our innovation and commitment. So one of the ways that we want to help our industrial clients reach zero injuries is by being their partner in building a leak-free workplace. Whether you are an industrial facility or a major industrial general contractor, one of the ways that we're going to help reduce injuries is by helping you eliminate leaks inside of your facility. That is one of the parts of our mission. There are many other parts to reaching zero, but reaching zero has to be in an industrial facility about eliminating leaks, because there are just so many things that happen when leaks happen. Many different safety hazards are created, from gas to fires to slips to trips. Just, we all know that leaks, particularly in the north, create many different environmental issues relative to it being a safe place to work. So eliminating leaks is key to why we exist. And so our innovation and commitment is something that we call the Innovator Pay Once Promise. It's our leak-free commitment, what we stand for. So what does that mean? Well, we're talking about preventing leaks, and we're talking about repairing leaks. So two very different sides of the coin. How do you stop them and how do you fix them? Well, anyone who is trying to prevent leaks and anyone who is needing leaks repaired or even mitigated to prevent them from breaking through the pipe wall, the vessel wall. Well, what do you need solved there? I want you to think about this for a minute, and the sensible nature of what I'm trying to say. When someone calls us for leak prevention or for leak repair, they're not looking for someone to work on their leaks. They're looking for someone to prevent and repair the leaks, to give them results. I know that might sound simple, but what do you need solved as a client who is trying to prevent leaks? How are you trying to prevent leaks? Well, it could be bolting, it could be It could be heat exchanger repairs. It could be composite repairs. You're trying to prevent the leak. You're trying to make sure that the pressure boundary does not get compromised. And if the pressure boundary is compromised, you don't want us to try and fix it. You want us to fix it. You want us to regain and maintain pressure boundaries to keep the bad stuff inside the pipes to get results. And so that is what we believe in. We think that for you, and it should be for us, that if we're going to have innovation and commitment, then it needs to be focused on results matter. Results matter. That means we got to make a commitment to results, leak prevention and leak repair, not leak maintenance, not leak time and materials, not leak time and effort. Fix it, right? When we surveyed all of our clients, they said the same thing. In 2016 and in 2019, we surveyed all of our clients. And more than 90% of them agreed that they would find it valuable and it would influence their decision if, when they hired a leak repair or leak prevention contractor, if leak repair services were free as a result. Meaning, if we come to fix it and it leaks, we're going to re-inject it for free. We're not going to charge you to keep coming back. If we do a leak prevention service and it leaks, we should have some skin in the game. I agree with that. Our clients clearly agree with that. And they've agreed with it so much that they allowed us to use their names. But there's more to the story about leaks and leak prevention than everyone agreeing that free stuff is good. Of all of the people we asked, agreed that they would find it valuable and it would influence how they select leak repair services if re-injection services were free of charge, should a leak reoccur. But that's not surprising, right? Who doesn't want free stuff? We agree that we should have skin in the game, that we are there to prevent leaks and to repair leaks. And everyone we talked to agreed as well. But yet, we're not always doing that as an industry. As a matter of fact, there was deep insight and interesting findings when we asked people, what does this cost? Well, there are two really important insights that industry shared with us in 2016 and in 2019. Now, in 2016, 53% of everyone surveyed said that at least 1 in 4 times, 25% of the time, they're having to get a flange sealed or a flange re-injected. Now, by 2019, that was 67%. But in 2019 compared to 2016, the perception of the cost of that has gone up. And it really depended on who and what role people were in. Not surprisingly, human resources, pretty far away from the coordinating of leak repair and injection, they felt that a re-injection cost was on average $20,000. Now, I suppose if it's a large heat exchanger and there's an awful lot of people and an awful lot of sealant involved, that would be the case. But on average, that's not really what it will cost. Now, what we were surprised about is that frontline personnel, the people who are in the field, coordinators, superintendents, engineering, really underestimated what it costs. And they're trying to coordinate getting it done, and they're not necessarily as focused on what is on the invoice. But what was consistent in 2016 and in 2019 were P&L managers and purchasing and contracts procurement. They were consistent in how they felt about the cost of leak repair re-injections. And that cost was $5,500. Now, I want you to think about this for a moment. If 25% of the time you're having to spend $5,500, that means that every single leak repair job costs around $1,200, $1,300 more than you think it does. Now, when we looked at all of the leak repair jobs that we did in 2019, several hundred, the average cost for that first project was around $11,000 to $12,000. That means that every single job, when you take into account reinjection costs, is at least 10 or 15% more than what you perceive it to be. But on that one job, when you have that reinjection, that one job, if it's $5,500 and the average leak repair job is $11,000, that means that when you get a leak on something that you've already asked to be repaired, that the one-time reinjection cost means that that project was 50% more money than what you thought. 50% more. So there's some numbers to think about there in terms of the level of commitment and the way that we make decisions around value creation. Well, let's dive in to the meat and potatoes and the details of this a little bit more on how this is applied for you, what is its value, and what do you get with the commitment that we make. So there's 5 areas that we apply the Pay Once Promise: bolting leak prevention, what we call total flange management; heat exchanger leak prevention, which is another version of total flange management; valve leak prevention, valve packing services; on-stream leak repair with engineered repairs; and on-stream leak repair with what we call out of the truck repairs. Let's dive into the details on each of these a little bit more. Bolting leak prevention, total flange management. Total flange management is more than torquing and tensioning. It's a process of going through and defining specifications and inspecting and actually performing the work in a systematic way, in the same way that you would manage the ITP of a hydrotesting process or a welding process. Bolting is more than tightening or loosening the nuts. So our total flange management process is just that. It's a 5-step process that is followed and implemented by our team. The first step is defining the project specifications to make sure that they are in accordance with innovator standards and the standards of ASME PCC1. Now, they can exceed our standards and ASME standards, and if you have a higher standard, that's great, but they cannot be less than our standard or that of ASME PCC1. Flange assembly training by innovator. Our teams come in and train all of your crews on the appropriate way to assemble and align all flanges in the program according to the specifications. So this is a training system to get everyone fresh on the processes and the inspections and the checkpoints of what has to happen in proper assembly. Flange inspection. We are training and supervising all of the flange inspection, and when we're not present, we require that there are photographs taken of the gasket surfaces so that we can ensure that there are no deviations, scratches, and imperfections that are outside of acceptable tolerances that get assembled. All of the repairs in the custom materials that are non-standard are performed by our team, flange facing or custom designed bolting or gasket materials that are not part of the standard specification. We execute according to the specification with trained personnel. All the flanges are tagged, sealed, tracked using Innovator's flange management software system. This includes all of the inspection reporting documents. What's our commitment when we do Innovator Total Flange Management? Well, number one is we have 100% leak-free startup commitment of all of our components. But in addition to that, we give you a 3-month leak-free period, which is extendable for any number of months depending on what your needs are. You just need to talk to our team, our sales and operations team, about what's required for us to extend those periods in the program. What will Innovator provide while we're under that commitment period? Well, number one is free hot bolting services. We will come in and we will follow your and our approved hot bolt up processes to deal with anything that leaks. We will then apply out of the truck leak repair services, drill and tap, wire and peen, injection rings, injection nuts, all of those leak repair materials and people that are required to deal with the leak. And if it comes to it, we will also provide off-the-shelf standard leak containment devices that are registered. So those are the sequences of the levels of the way that we stand by our leak-free commitment. Heat exchangers. Heat exchangers are probably one of the biggest problems for our clients. They have the biggest consequences of leak. They have the biggest costs of leaks. They can cause fires. They can cause injuries. And we all know that it is very expensive to do leak repair on an active leaking heat exchanger. And so our message is that, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. But if the pound of cure is needed after that ounce of prevention, we're going to put skin in the game. What do we do inside of our our heat exchanger total flange management process? Well, it's the similar 5-step process that we talked about in our bolting process. We're still designing, or we're still setting a bolting specification, but in this case, we're designing and calculating the bolting specifications, and we are designing the ideal gasket and other bolting materials by our engineering team, custom for that heat exchanger. Flange assembly training is supervised by Innovator, but this time flange inspection is performed by Innovator, and we're using our laser flange inspection system to look for all deviations, all flatness checks on all components. This is far faster and far more accurate than dial gauges. We perform any repairs. We execute the bolting process, and we provide all of the custom materials. And we do this project lump sum. This is not a time and materials project. We do heat exchanger total flange management as a lump sum project. All flanges are tagged, sealed, tracked using Innovator's flange management system, including all inspection reporting documents. When we do that, we guarantee you 100% startup on all of our components. It's a 3-month leak-free period. That, again, is extendable. Innovator provides hot bolting services, out-of-the-truck leak repair services, and if we can't get the leak under control with those first 2 methods, we will provide engineered leak containment device services at direct cost with 0 profit and 0 overhead and total transparency on the exact cost of that engineered LCD. Now, I can tell you that all leak repair companies make a lot of money on engineered LCD. And so you're likely getting an engineered leak repair service for less than half of what it would cost anybody else. And so that's the level of commitment that we're making to stand by our work and put skin in the game in heat exchanger leak prevention. Valve packings. Thousands of them are on your site, and the packings are the first thing to go. Bulk packing is often, the material is often warranted for 3 years, and die form packing, many manufacturers will warranty the packing for 5 years, and yet you don't get a 5-minute warranty on the installation. Well, what if it's installed wrong? What if the wrong materials are installed? What if you don't install enough rings? All of these things happen. And so in this program, we are managing the valve packing program for you during an outage or during a maintenance cycle when packing can be removed and installed. What does our valve leak prevention service, valve packing service look like? Again, it's a 5-step process. Innovator and the client collaborate in the planning stages to define the packing specification. All packing is extracted using high pressure packing blasters and picks by Innovator personnel. And when we're extracting that packing, we're also all the valve stems and stuffing boxes are cleaned, inspected, and passed as acceptable by Innovator. So we're inspecting them. We're live loading the packing followers is implemented where deemed necessary due to cyclic load or problematic leaks. And all packing is installed by Innovator personnel. When we do those things, we give you 100% leak-free startup commitment. We give you a 1-year leak-free period from the time it was installed, and that's extendable for up to 3 years. An Innovator will provide packing follower adjustments, and we will provide free, no charge drill and tap and packing injection leak repair services for the entire leak-free period. Whether that's 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, we will be responsible for all packing adjustments if there's a leak, and we will be responsible for all leak repair of the stuffing box during that entire period. On-stream leak repair services, engineered repairs. We're talking about enclosures, engineered and registered enclosures, and we're also now talking about fully engineered composite pipe reinforcement systems that are approved in Alberta by the Pressure Authority. In those cases, leak repair services are performed by both our technicians and engineers to work in unison to design and install Pressure Authority custom designed and approved enclosures and composite systems. In these cases, the engineered enclosure or stock enclosure is designed and registered with the Pressure Authority. It's our Innovator engineering team state the materials, the injection pressure, the fill volumes with compression ratios, and the approved injection procedure. The system remains during the repair period under the declared system pressure and temperature during the expected leak-free performance period. Any cycling in temperature, in pressure, in water hammer conditions are declared in the design phase so that they can be evaluated to make sure that a leak-free job can be achieved. And if we move forward, which we almost always do with the right planning and the right engineering, then the project is signed off 24 hours after it's completed, and the repair location is tagged with an Innovator leak repair completion tag, and an Innovator pay once promise number is assigned to you, and a certificate is issued for that component and for the period in question. If it leaks, we give you a 1-year leak-free period on all engineered repairs. An Innovator will provide at no charge for the entire year leak repair re-injection services, all the labor, all the travel, all the materials. If it leaks, we come back, we own it for that period. And that commitment is extendable for up to 3 years, depending on your outage cycle and the needs of your particular facility. What about out of the truck repairs? Well, what are they? Well, out of the truck repairs are still registered. All the injectors and cap nuts and all the things we use are all designed and registered, but they are leak repair materials that are on our service trucks. And using these materials rather than an engineered leak containment device, we're using methods like drill and tap, wire wrap, rod and peen repairs to use materials to reestablish pressure boundary on flanges, on valves, on packing, on heat exchangers, using out of the truck repairs. Out of the truck repairs involve, we still need to understand the cyclic nature that we talked about in our engineered repairs. so that we can select the right materials. The system remains under the design temperature and pressure, or the declared temperature and pressure that's expected for the period. Project is signed off 24 hours after the work is done to allow for curing. We tag it, we assign an innovator pay once promised number, and we give you a 1 month leak-free period on out of the truck repairs, where you get a no charge leak repair injections. And again, that 1 month is extendable. You just need to talk to our sales and operations team to figure out the details on if you need and what period you need to extend that out of the truck repair and have it covered under our pay once promised commitment to you for us owning that leak. Speak to your innovator operations and sales team about the conditions and the limitations and how you can extend and how it applies. The big thing, again, with our commitment is collaboration. Talk to us, understand it, understand what we're standing for, understand what you need to do. And what you will find is that our brand is about what we take a stand for. And we stand for a leak-free commitment. That leak-free commitment is our promise to have a long-term relationship with our clients. It's our promise to have more skin in the game. It's our promise that we are your partner in building a leak-free workplace together. Next time on Innovation Nation, we're going to be talking about innovation in cost attribution. And we're going to be diving in deep into the real cost of hot work. Till next time, folks, thanks for joining me with Innovation Nation, and we'll talk soon.